Good morning, Misfits! It is Woke Wednesday on The Daily Breakdown. I'm your host, Misfit Patriot, aka Zach Bonfilio. Welcome, LFA family, Funmon, Little Patriot, Winky Winky Nod Nod Bumble, C. Michaels, Moustache, not mustache, Moustache, Winky Winky Nod Nod, J. Tyler. Bongino Report has raided the stream. Thank you, Vince. Welcome, everybody, especially our Bongino army. I will give you guys a little intro into Woke Wednesday. If you're a new listener, right? We do themes on this show. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All right. So like Maha Monday, TDS Tuesday. Today is Woke Wednesday. Now, I just talk about woke, like something woke, right? Like, and one of the things that we have been seeing over the past couple years, maybe now, it's been a while, but is this uprising of what I call the woke right. Okay, I'm probably one of the first people that started using that term, and I started using it specifically because I saw people on the right who were acting a lot like the left, right? And this is one of them. This guy James Fishback, who's in Florida. If you're not if you're not on X, if you're not relatively, nobody's heard of him. He's polling at about like 1%. I mean, on the Kalshi, his odds are about 1% on Kalshi. But he puts these polls up on X where he's like winning because X is not real life. And we're going to get to that too. Unfortunately, I have to talk about some personal drama in the show. I'll try to keep it very brief, but I've had to address it before. But X is not real life, okay? X is not real life. Now, can the internet affect real life? Of course it can, right? Can the internet affect elections? Of course it can. When I say, and hope when other people are saying this, they're saying it properly. When you say the internet's not real life, what I mean is it's not a reflection of real life. What you're seeing on the internet is fake, like support for James Fishback. Now, I've seen this come up with people before, and I try not to go down the road of conspiracy theory. All right, this isn't the Candace Owens show. Okay, this is the living in reality show. Okay, there's not Egyptian planes and bee cults killing people, but I do believe that there are things called PSYOPs, right? Psychological operations, controlled opposition. We talk about this a lot with, you don't even have to call this a conspiracy theory to say that there are influence operations against America to divide America from foreign adversaries, from Democrats, maybe the Democrats are pushing some type of controlled op candidate. Maybe our adversaries over in China, right, are trying to, sort of push. We already know that they're trying to interfere in our elections. If they're going to try to interfere in our elections, you don't think that they would interfere in our internet? There was this little app, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, called TikTok, right? That was a weapon. That was not a social media app. That was a weapon. They had kids talking about how Osama bin Laden might have actually been the good guy, right? That didn't happen by accident. That wasn't organic. That wasn't natural. You have these morons like Hassan Piker, who's like, yeah, Mao Zedong, he was just such a great leader. He killed 50 million people, but that happens. Shut up. That's not normal. That's not organic. That is definitely something that is being pushed by either, because I would say, like, yes, is it possible that there's some type of organic leftist communist thing? Yeah, right. But when you start seeing it on the right now, like Steven Crowder will call it the Marxist right because he just refuses to admit that I'm right. He'll say he doesn't like the term woke right, because people try to keep the association with the left, and I'm like, no, it's fine. It's fine. We can give it to these people too. There's not going to be friendly fire. People aren't going to be like, we're woke now. Yeah, Because, I mean, as I say every week, what is woke? Woke is not a left thing. Woke means awake, right? Woke, the term woke started in like the early 1900s with the black community, with the slave community, where they were like, we are awake. Stay awake, stay woke. We are awake to our oppressor. Our oppressor is the white man. They had a point, you know, like a little bit. All right. Like I'm not, you know, this whole like, woo, slavery. No. I'm just saying they kind of did have an oppressor, right? We are awake to our oppressor. Like it was kind of obvious. But anyway. Then you fast forward to the late 90s, black community, Rodney King, they recycle it. Okay? We're awake. They kind of had an oppressor a little bit, like a little bit. There was definitely still some racism. Fast forward again to the early 2000s, now it's just recycled by the left, where they just go, we have an oppressor. Okay, who's your oppressor? Everybody! Everybody! Just white people, capitalism, America, freedom, everything's my oppressor. Right? Now, the term is dead, right? Because before, when the black community used it, they kind of had an oppressor, right? But the woke left doesn't have an oppressor. They make it up. They literally make it up, right? So, we got that. And now, very recently, wow, welcome everybody in the chat. We've got over 5,000 people in here. Thank you very much, Vince, for the raid. Very recently, the quote, woke right. Right now, who was the woke right? The Groypers, the Nick Fuentes wing of the party, right? The Jews are our oppressor. The Jews control the world. The Jews are the problem. Globalist. I'm Alex Jones, and I just want to let you know that the globalists are coming to take you. They're going to eat your babies. The globalists are eating your babies. All right. That's my best impression and only impression, by the way. Sean does the Trump. He's coming up next. All right. So that's why we talk about Woke Wednesday, right? We talk about Woke Wednesday because there's a problem. It's a problem. Right? If it became a problem for the left, it's going to become a problem for the right. If we start to allow it to grow, fester, and multiply, it's going to be a problem. That's why I think that we should call it out, and I think we should call it woke because it is. Woke just means awake. Awake to who? Oppressor. Oppressor, oppressor, oppressor. I'm a victim, no personal accountability, wah. That's what it is. That's what it's about. All right? So, James Fishback, again, right? He is running in Florida. I know people have a problem with Byron Donalds. I don't know why. I don't live in Florida anymore. Seems fine to me, but I don't know. There's a lot of people that don't like Byron Donalds. I see it. I think it's organic. I think there's an organic rejection of Byron Donalds in a small chunk of the MAGA movement. I don't know what it's about, right? I don't pay attention to him enough, I guess. But when we're dealing with who we like and who we don't like, we deal with that in the primaries. All right, whatever. Is that a fair statement? It's a fair statement that we deal with who we're dealing with in the primary. Okay, if you don't like Byron Donalds, you replace him in the primary with somebody better, right? Is James Fishback better or worse? He's worse. It's obviously. There's no doubt, right? James Fishback might not even be able to run. We're going to get to that in a bit, right? Because we have this court case, which is the inspiration for our thumbnail here, right? Where he's like maybe not even able to run, right? But we'll get to that because we're gonna save that. We're also on the Daily Breakdown again. If you're one of the Bongino Army people that are here now, appreciate you. But we have the Daily Breakdown, hence the name of the show, right? And the Daily Breakdown is me just going on the internet and typing in the word news. I go on Google or DuckDuckGo or Brave. I find the best collection of the news stories. Today, it was DuckDuckGo. And we're going to break these down, hence the Daily Breakdown. So stick around for that. And we will have a fun show for Woke Wednesday. And then tomorrow's 2A Thursday, by the way. So we're going to try to get on it's going to be either Carl Higbee or Mike Mahalski, either the owner of Sons of Liberty Gunworks or Newsmax gun guy, my buddy, my friend, gave me his challenge coin, Carl Higbee. One of those two I think are coming on. We'll see. All right, so first story from the Hill. Ossoff spars with Pete Hegseth over claims of overwhelming victory in Iran. All right, what is up with the left always being like, we're not winning? Okay, all right. What do you want? Do you want Iran to win? Okay, from the Hill. Senator Ossoff sparred with Defense Secretary over whether the military obtained an overwhelming victory in Iran. Quote, you said Operation Epic Fury was a historic and overwhelming victory. Okay, that's an opinion, so it's subjective. All right. You said Iran's military has been rendered combat ineffective for years to come. They pretty much are. You stated we had achieved every single objective. Close. Ossoff told Hegseth, were those accurate statements? Well, they're subjective. So that's like saying, in your opinion, is your opinion an opinion? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Okay. Hegseth said at the time service members had achieved a historic military over Iran. Okay. Ossoff wasn't satisfied. Shocker. You stated 4 months ago that Iran's military has been recorded combat ineffective. Has Iran's military been combat ineffective? Hegseth responded by saying, the military has been set back not just years, but likely decades. Yeah. This is like, I think that the left's like, I think that these people, these TDS morons, right? When Trump says completely obliterated, they're like, well, if they have a machine gun left, then that's not completely obliterated. It's like, have you guys ever heard of hyperbole, like, at all, ever? Iran's navy is done. Iran's army is done. Every one of their world leaders has been killed. Or sorry, their country's leaders has been killed. Then every one of the replacements was killed. And then about half of the replacements were killed, right? So basically, no navy, no army, no leaders. That's done. Can they still fire a rocket? Yeah. Yeah, they can still fire a rocket. Sorry. I didn't realize that it was literal Larry giving me a freaking grilling here today. But yeah, no. All right, guys, look, if you see that Iran can still fire a rocket every once in a while, that's normal. Okay? They might still be able to do some things. I mean, I didn't realize that we had to speak in absolutes, like we're robotic. We don't have hyperbole or opinion or subjective conjecture. Why the can't I say that word? Conjecture. Thank you. Wow. Boop. Okay. But yes, yes, they are. They are obliterated. They are done. They have been set back decades. That is a fact. Democrats know what they're doing. They know what they're doing when they ask these stupid questions. It's such a waste of time. Hegseth says, no one has ever stated that every single missile was gone. Ultimately, combat ineffective means they're not able to dig them out of their UGFs and shoot them. Yeah. It doesn't mean they don't have underground facilities where they put missiles in them and hold on to them because they're the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism. Yeah. Also, I've said the goals late. You know, it's like the dumbest person ever has to ask this question. Like, imagine if there were two people having a conversation that weren't retarded, right? Because there's one. There's Pete Hegseth. He's not retarded. But he's being asked by, this is like what I do every day online. I have conversations with people that are way dumber than me. And I answer questions. And I'm like, hey, why am I answering this? Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. So, yeah, I think that basically this whole story, this is our first story out of the news of the day. It's pretty much just, TDS woke liberal asks secretary stupid questions. That's my summary. That's my breakdown. My breakdown of this story is Ossoff's a moron. He asked a bunch of dumb questions, and Pete Hegseth answered them. Okay. All right. Next up, Trump-backed candidate 2020 election deniers win Arizona primaries. Oh, that's right. Arizona was yesterday. You know, somebody was saying Arizona was yesterday in my chat, and I was like, yeah, that's coming up on August 4th. I didn't, the election was, the primary election was yesterday. I was confusing that with Michigan for some reason. But looks like the Trump-backed candidates prevailed over other Republicans in the race. Trump has had a pretty good track record of this year of primary picks. And I agree with most, not all, most of Trump's endorsements, right? Like there have been a couple where I'm like, nah. But I think for the most part, and this is a problem that I think we have on our side. I think it's probably on both sides, but it's on our side pretty bad, right? Is we just bitch. We just bitch and moan and complain, right? We bitch and moan and complain that we don't like our candidates enough, right? Like, and then we don't do the work to replace them. So we have no right to bitch. I mean, come on, guys. If you haven't gone out and joined a campaign, if you haven't put together a coalition, if you're not following the 10, 10, and 10 rule from Dan Bongino, maybe you need to reflect and look back and see what's going on with you. Why is it that you want other people to elect your candidate that you want, right? And then you want to be able to complain about it. I mean, I know what I'm doing. We got the Misfit midterm cheat sheet coming right here. We got this. I put a website together. So you guys could see who to vote for, right? I got a list of all these people on here. I've done my part. I have a platform. I talk about elections all the time. I try to inform the public. I try to, do as much as I can, right? What are you doing? Are you tweeting? Is it just tweets? I mean, I'm not trying to crap on you. I'm saying, what are you doing? Like what? What are you doing? Something you can do, you can join Sway. I have this Sway page right here. It's sway.co/misfits, right? Now this is where if you are lazy and you don't want to do a lot of the work, I'll do it for you. And you can just become a member of the Misfit Army. We got 108 people in here. These are all people that are in my group all across the country. Okay? So yesterday, if you look here, we had 6 people in the Arizona primary, right? I sent out a text message to all 6 of them at 9 a.m. Said, today is election day in Arizona. Make sure to hit the polls and send this to everyone you know so they can join the Misfit Army too. What are you doing? You're bitching. I understand that you're bitching and complaining. What are you doing? Have you earned the right to bitch? Look at that. That win yesterday. What is this win? I don't even know how this win thing works. Our track record, 32%, 33% turnout. 2 out of the 6 people that I sent a message to, they voted yesterday. Oh, so this is new because this just started a few weeks ago. So I'm still not sure how this works with this Sway thing. But we have won an election. We have sent out people, 2 out of the 6 people that I went and sent that message to. They went out and voted. So this is a very helpful tool, right? This is the Michigan. I don't know why I thought August 4th. Michigan's coming up. Mike Rogers. I'm going to send out messages to these 6 people too. And we're going to flip this. This is going to be 2028. I'm just going to change the name of it. So all the people in this group, they can actually go out and they can do other elections too. And I can actually be like, hey, here's some resources. Here's this, here's that. It's just basically a messaging app. It's a group where you join so you can get updates from me. But that's what I'm doing. I'm just saying I'm doing something. I'm not just bitching. I'm paying for this website. Right? I don't make money off the internet, really. I mean, whatever I get paid for my subscriptions and X service. It's not much. It's not much. I'm just doing this. I mean, if you guys want, you can go to my Beacons link. You can go to my Buy Me a Coffee. But other than that, I really do the internet mostly for free because I care about this country. I want to win elections. I'm not trying to grift off of you like this moron right here. I'm not trying to become popular. What are you doing? Are you winning elections or are you complaining about candidates? Anyway, back to the story. This is from NPR. Back to this news article. Trump-backed candidates prevailed. Rep. Andy Biggs, a Republican, is the Republican nominee for governor. He refused to certify the election results over Trump's unverified claims that the election was stolen by former President Joe Biden. For Arizona's Secretary of State, it is the GOP nominated Alexander Kolodin. We should have had these people on Sway. I've been slacking a little bit. You know, I got to get a lot more people updated on here. Let's see here. You show all guides. Arizona. So now that the primary is over, we're going to be adding in the Arizona general. So if I'll show you guys how it works here. All right, you go AZ, and it should pop up. They might not have updated the candidates yet. Arizona Gov. This is just a really good app. Here we go. Oh, I just saw it. Here we go. U.S. Senate, Arizona. Okay, so I do have the governor on here. Okay. Andy Biggs. I do have the governor on here. Okay. Oh, I had him on for the primary. That's why. There was no, I don't know why I didn't have him on. I don't know why there wasn't the general. Let's see, we'll add the U.S. Senate on here. And see, there's no candidates yet, but they will update that. So that's how it works, right? I put down my recommendations. No. I put down my recommendations. You guys go on here. You can see the recommendations. And then when it comes time to get to the voting, I just send out messages like, hey, the election's coming up. Just a quick little reminder. I'm also going to start sending out, like useful information like candidate websites, campaigns, how you can help, how you can get involved, etc., etc., etc. And then maybe one day I actually will start making money online and I can start hiring people and building a team and actually doing it more efficiently. Right now, I have to decide if I want to keep building bathrooms or if I want to talk to you people for a living. I'll make that choice later. All right. But yeah, Andy Biggs won. Trump won in 2024. Here we go. So Andy Biggs is going to challenge Katie Hobbs. Katie Hobbs is one of the most inept people in power, representatives, whatever you want to call them. I think she stole the election. I think Kari Lake won twice. I think that they really, really didn't want Kari Lake in a position of power because I think Kari Lake would have gone full send on investigations. I think that they really want to hold on to Arizona. I think it's one of the states that they have probably the most fraud. I would say Pennsylvania, Arizona, those are pretty big fraud wrought states. And I think that if we can make it too big to rig, that's probably the only way to beat them, right? Unfortunately, like I said before, I think we probably got about another week, maybe week and a half, if we're going to pass the Save America Act. I don't think we're going to do it, which means the strategy for the 2026 midterms is too big to rig. That's the only strategy. Everything else is not going to work. Right? We did have redistricting. We did have a lot of wins as far as, the Democrats going further left, creating less incentive to get their people out to vote. And we are seeing, I believe, an uprising in the woke right for the exact same reason. The Democrats know why they lost. Okay, they lost because they're going too far left. What's their solution? Should they come back to the middle? Nah. Nah, that would make too much sense. Right? That would make way too much sense. Right? No, what they want to do is they want to go, okay, maybe we can just put a bunch of plants and psyops and just controlled opposition on the right. Let's activate Nick Fuentes. I mean, I know that sounds a little bit like conspiracy theory-y, right? But I believe it. I believe that these people are being paid, or at least they are useful idiots. They are either controlled opposition willingly, or they really are that dumb where they don't realize they're being used. But one way or another, the goal is the same. The rise of the woke right is not organic. Period. It's not. People don't think like this. I don't meet these people. They're not real life. Like I don't meet these people in real life. I do not meet them. They do not exist. They are they're basically Democrats in drag, right? And their drag is like a MAGA hat or a Groiper hat. It's like it's not real. America first, man. America first. What does that mean? I hate Jews. That's not America first. That's Nazi shit. What are you talking about? All right. What time is it? 8:28. Okay, let's get to a couple more. Let's get to a couple more stories. We'll probably do about 10 more minutes maybe of this, and then we'll jump into that story that I just alluded to. Somebody in the some people in the chat are giving some input about Arizona. I saw somebody say I was in Maricopa County. Where were you? Where were you? Ah, here we go. I used to live in Maricopa County. It's hard to find a leftist. It was 100% stolen. I know. When Maricopa County, the what did they do? They shut down polling sites and stuff in like deep red districts. The machines were really funky. There was a lot of weird stuff that happened. They're putting an mRNA vaccine in your food. You need to do this right now. All right, I think that's spam. I'm America first. I'm America first too, machine. I'm America first too. Let me be very clear. All right, you guys have to watch my show. Okay, you have to watch my show in order to realize when I'm being sarcastic. Okay, I said this yesterday. Yesterday's show. I said I'm the real America first. America first has been hijacked. The term America first has been hijacked. Just like Christ is king has been hijacked, okay? So stop thinking literally, right? And start thinking of this as when I am making fun of the America First people, I'm really saying groypers. That's exactly why they stole it. Nick Fuentes stole America First from Donald Trump, who stole it from Ronald Reagan, right? But just like the term woke or awake, right? Used to be valid, now it's invalidated. Okay? So when you think about why they do this, right? Why is Candace Owens, a demon, a literal demon, saying Christ is king? And Nick Fuentes, demon, Christ is king. Why? Why are they doing it? Because if anybody challenges them, they're going to be able to fire back with, you don't think Christ is king? If anybody makes fun of them, then you now have to defend yourself, just like I'm doing right now. I just made fun of them because they're stupid America First hijacking, and then you come in, and I'm not yelling at you, by the way. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm not yelling at you. I'm just trying to make a point. But then you come in and you go, I'm America First, and I have to go, yes, me too. But how can we both be America first if we disagree with each other? It's very clever what they're doing. It's very clever, right? Because it leads to these conversations, right? Everything is a contradiction. Exactly, in the chat. So if I say America first, very clearly, you know I'm talking about me. If I say America first, I'm talking about groypers, right? And it's very hard to do this. It's very hard to make this distinction. Yeah. All right. So moving on. What's another story we can talk about? All right. Iran's demands. I don't care. We talk about it every day. Trouble storm. No. Let's see. Is there anything worth talking about? That's the question. Ukraine, no. Darlene Graham, we talked about this yesterday. All right. I guess we'll just go. Oh, this is a good one. Oh, you're not gonna let me read it, you douche. You douchebaggery. I gotta. Can you guys hear that? I gotta WD-40 that thing. All right. Let's see. House funds government. I don't know why Washington Post is stupid. All right, news. Here we go. All right, so House from NPR. House votes to extend government funding, aiming to avoid an election year shutdown. Looks like they did that. They voted 220 to 205 on Tuesday to extend funding to the government at existing levels through December 1st, so 4th. So that's at least going to get us through the midterms, and we won't have to worry about some fight with Trump. So that's a good thing, right? 6 Democrats joined in with Republicans to advance the bill. The government is currently set to run out of money at the end of September. We're already out of stop saying that we're set to run out of money. We are out of money. We owe money. We owe money. We're about to run out of the money that you stole, right? You just need to steal some more, but we're out of money. All right, let's be very clear. All right, House Republicans have hardliners lately been holding up legislation so far. In Senate, in an effort to pressure their Senate colleagues into passing the SAVE Act. Legislation will require voters to provide proof of citizenship. We all know that. After speculation, the government funding could be caught up in that fight. Democrat leaders oppose funding extensions. Shocker. Writing in a statement that the bill fails to block funding for Donald Trump's violent mass deportation machine. Democrats really do. Their priority is illegals. That's their priority. Their priority is illegals. They're not. You are not there. If you are an American citizen watching this right now, you are at best second place to the Democrats. Like, as far as priorities go, you're probably way down the list. Like, it's probably them, their stock portfolio, a bunch of other stupid, corrupt stuff, then illegals, then it's a whole bunch of other stuff, and you're probably somewhere at like the very bottom, all right? But illegals are definitely before you. Their my way or the highway approach has constantly failed to address the high cost of living or meet the needs of the American people, said Hakeem Jeffries, who sucks. Speaker Mike Johnson criticized Democrats ahead of the vote. They do this to try to score political points. I don't like Mike Johnson either. Mike Johnson is just a squishy fuck. Like, some people like him. I don't. He doesn't have the spine for that job. Nice guy. Seems nice. All right. But he doesn't have the spine for that job. He's not built for that. And it's a fact. He's too nice. He's too squishy. You need to be look, Nancy Pelosi is a demon. Okay? Can we all agree? Nancy Pelosi, she's a corrupt, horrible human being, right? Chatterteeth, like, I get it. But she was good at it. She was good at it, right? You have to give her credit. She was good at it. She cracked the whip like nobody else. She was able to get people in line because she didn't have a soul. I don't want a demon on our side to be the House leader or the Senate leader. I do want somebody who's at least got Nancy Pelosi's, like, get your ass in. You vote for that. Right? That's their job. The leader's job is to lead. The leader's job is to not politely suggest. The leader's job is not to capitulate and cave to the opposition, the minorities. Not the minorities, the minority. But no, I mean, come on, guys. Can we all agree? Mike Johnson seems like a really nice guy. We don't need a nice guy. We need a Trump. We need a guy who's not so nice. Right? We need an effective person. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I think that we need to change leadership after the midterms. I think that's what, and I think let's focus on the midterms right now. Let's not make this a huge priority. But after the midterms, you're going to see people like me making posts and being like, let's go. Let's go. Call your congressmen, call your senators, force a vote. We're done. Because we can't have these 2 years were useless. This Congress, I mean. We did plenty with Trump. Trump did a great job. His administration did a great job. Congress did dick. They didn't do anything. What have they done? Oh, the one big beautiful bill? Okay. Anything else? No? How many bills have they passed? How many what's it called? How many nominees have they elected? Guys, it's leadership. It's leadership. We had the majority in both. We had the majority in the House and the Senate, and we haven't done anything. There's your problem. Leadership. Brandon Gill. Absolutely. The Diano in the chat, that's my dog. Brandon Gill, I love Brandon Gill. Somebody said it right here. Where was it? Somebody said it. Right here. Big shout out to the Diano. You get it. That's who we need. We need Brandon Gill. Or somebody like him. We just need somebody that is unafraid to crack the whip. Okay, what is it? 8:39. I think we can get to yeah. Okay. Well, actually, you know what? Let's just read a little bit more of this and then we'll jump in. All right, that's bugging the hell out of me. Where's my CPL? I probably have some gun lube around here somewhere. All right. 70. All right, so this is the last of this article. 76-day Department of Homeland Security shutdown followed at the beginning of the year after federal immigration enforcement personnel killed 2 American citizens in Minnesota. Wait. Oh yeah. No. Okay. All right. I was like, wait a minute. Only one of them. No, those were the new ones. Democrats refused to stop funding. Yes, this was pretty good. Pretty goody. All right. Ultimately, Republicans use a parliamentary procedure known as reconciliation. Okay, so yeah. Basically, the breakdown of that story is it got funded. The government's funded until December 4th. It's a good thing. All right. Now, I have my theories. They are theories. They are not wacky conspiracy theories based on zero evidence. They are educated guesses based on circumstantial evidence, right? Which does make it a theory, okay? But I am not against conspiracy theories. I'm against stupid ones. My theory is that people like James Fishback, and I'm going to show you another example after that, right? Are controlled opposition. Controlled opposition. What is controlled opposition? What does controlled opposition mean? It means that they are either knowingly or unknowingly working to benefit the opposition, right? So they're on the quote right, but somehow what they're doing helps the left. That's what controlled opposition means. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're a Fed. That's not what it means. It doesn't mean that they're a Fed. It doesn't mean that they're like being paid. It doesn't mean that they have a handler, like this is a spy novel. It just means that they're controlled. Right? They're controlled. They're boosted, elevated. They're played. They're handled either directly or indirectly. And I think that James Fishback is controlled opposition. I think that he's probably just a regular retard who wants to run and thinks that he's got legitimate support. But I think that that's just stupid. He doesn't. He isn't. You look at the Kalshi odds, he's got 1%. But one could make an argument that he lived in D.C., right? And maybe he's an agent. I don't know. We don't know, but we know. Isn't that what that frickin' demon moron Candace Owens says? But anyway, check this clip out. This is kind of funny because he's in a hearing because he might not even be eligible to run in Florida. Yet he's running in Florida against Byron Donalds. Okay, so he literally just said under oath, he said, yeah, I voted in Washington, D.C. But then at this campaign event, he was like, I've never voted in Washington, D.C. No, you're wrong. I've never voted. So he's just, so what is this proof of? It's proof that he's a liar. It's not proof that he's a federal agent or controlled opposition. It's just proof that he's a liar. He's just a liar. Okay? No problem. Okay? You're a liar. Okay, all right. So is this just on a loop? Yeah, that's just on a loop. Okay. So that's just that's just on a loop. And his eligibility is in question because there's a bunch of documents, right? A bunch, including car insurance forms, travel documents, and forms from his nonprofit, and incumbent debate, um, that he was at least partially living in DC, right? So DC's one of those places where it's like, I don't know, man. Where's the other clip? Is this the clip? Yeah, I think this is the clip, actually. Oh, you guys don't have audio on that, do you? Did you have audio on the last one? Wait, what happened? I'm not seeing the audio come up. You guys don't have the audio on that, do you? Give me 1 sec. I don't know why it does this sometimes. I should have looked at the chat. Nope. Okay. My bad. Don't worry, we'll get it. I know how to fix. It's a stupid way to fix. You just go refresh and it'll fix. All right. Since you guys didn't hear it, let's just play the quick audio from this one. It's probably like 15 seconds.
Now let's talk about the voting documents. So you did in fact vote once in your life in Washington, D.C., correct?
That is correct.
So you voted in a state that you live in?
I've never voted in any other state other than Florida. I have never voted.
So the voter records are wrong?
Washington, D.C. that has no voter ID, that has absolutely no proof of anything, yeah, I never voted in Washington, D.C. I don't know why they would say that.
Now let's talk about the voting documents. So you did in fact vote once in your life in Washington, D.C., correct?
That is correct.
There you go. So, again, does that mean that he's controlled opposition, like he's has a handler, has an awareness that he's an agent for the Democrat Party? No. But it is kind of weird that he lived in D.C. Now, what I would think would be the most Occam's razor, using critical thinking, deductive reasoning, right? I would think that he's probably just a grifter, just an online grifter who is caught up in, just like Nick Fuentes, right? Caught up in the audience capture of the internet, builds an audience based off of sensationalism, gets a taste for power, and then decides he's going to start getting into politics, right? That's what I would say is most likely, all right? Because I don't like going down these spy novel routes of Candace Owens. I like to live in the really real world. Now, when somebody like that pops up, Democrats or our opposition, right? Could be foreign, could be domestic, right? The deep state, right? They will use them by elevating them, boosting them, giving them a bunch of fake engagement, creating conflicts, making bots, what have you, right? And then what happens is in the online space, we have, quote, infighting. That's how they divide and conquer. So when you see a lot of the, quote, infighting on the right, a lot of it is boosted. A lot of it is manufactured, non-organic, right? It's not, and I know that. I mean, Bongino talks about this. He's like, you think we don't know? They know, right? Why do platforms allow it, right? Why is it that Elon and Zuckerberg and all of them? Why don't they just get rid of the bots? Why don't? Easiest answer to a question ever. Greed. It's easy. Advertisers, they don't care. Elon Musk does not care that Ian Carroll has like a ratio on everybody because he buys his followers, he buys his likes, he bots people. Nick Fuentes, he doesn't care. James Fishback, he doesn't care. You know why? The view is a view is a view, right? Whether it's fake or not. And if Elon's not buying them, he's not artificially boosting his own platform, which